Right now, many people say some police officers are a source of racial injustice, but experts say racial injustice often starts in school. Call 6 Investigates found all black students in Indiana are more likely to be disciplined and arrested in Indiana schools than students of other races. Our Carrie Kenny has been investigating this for months. She shows us why the discipline disparity takes on a new importance given the recent attention on racism.
Black children in Indiana, especially black boys, are disciplined at higher rates than white students. And the discipline disparity starts as early as pre-kindergarten. Nicole Kenny's son William got a 10-day out-of-school suspension after he says he stood up to a bully.
So when I got suspended in 2 weeks, I was like, dang, I'm not going to be in school. I'm not going to be able to learn, teach, and I'm going to be missing out on a lot of work.
Indiana ranks 4th highest in the country when it comes to the rate of out-of-school suspensions for black teens in middle and high school. Nearly a quarter of all black middle and high school students in Indiana have been suspended at least once.
When we get in trouble, it's a bigger consequence.
Experts say this discipline disparity has lifelong impacts on black people in our state. The school to prison pipeline study shows Indiana students who get in trouble at school are more likely to get arrested and end up in prison. The Positive School Discipline Institute is working to stop that cycle.
We're trying to get to the relationship between the educator and the student to improve that relationship so that we can keep kids engaged in school and on the right track, and reduce suspensions. Because we know when kids are suspended, when they're put outside of the school community, they're at much greater risk of having contact with law enforcement.
Black students make up 12% of the state's student population, yet they make up 26% of arrests on school property.
It's more than implicit bias. It's unconscious racism.
The Positive School Discipline Institute trains school leaders, teachers, school police, and other staff about cultural differences, the role of trauma in children's behavior, and implicit bias, which are the unconscious views we have about certain groups of people.
How do we de-escalate situations? It doesn't happen without training. Because your automatic instinct is to say, I'm not going to tolerate that. That's not what's going to happen here on my watch.
And if they don't know how to de-escalate with a child, just like if you don't know how to de-escalate with an adult, you're going to have conflict.
But schools do not have to do implicit bias training. It's not required by law.
We think it should be required.
Call 6 Investigates checked with the Indiana Department of Education and learned the school discipline guide shared with schools now includes information about implicit bias and restorative practices. IDOE is also offering trainings through the Peace Learning Center at no cost to schools. The plan is to train dozens of school districts starting this fall. As people continue to march against racial injustice, experts say they're working to stop tense police interactions long before they happen.
We need all of these players to come together and actually change the policies and practices systemically in their school. That's a big ask, but I think that's the same thing we're asking for law enforcement to do.
Carrie Kenny, RTV6.
Black men, I'm very disappointed in us. Black fathers, I'm very disappointed in us. Why do I not see black fathers at back to school night? Why do I not see black fathers at suspension conferences? Why do I not see black fathers during midweek report? Why do I not see black fathers stopping by doing drive-bys on their sons? And I don't want to hear the mother don't let you. I don't want to hear that, because you can go to family court and get shared legal custody over educational and medical decisions. You can go to family court and get shared legal custody over medical and educational decisions. So I don't want no excuses to my black men. Now, my black men who are on your job, I'm not talking to you. My black men who are on your job, my black fathers who are doing what you're supposed to do, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the black fathers. Whether you live in America, Canada, Toronto, I don't care if you in the UK, Caribbean, Central South America, this is a global problem. This is a global problem. I'm not seeing enough black men involved in their sons' academics, and I don't want to hear the excuse. I don't want to hear the excuse that the mothers are not letting you. And the reason I don't want to hear the excuse, The reason I don't want to hear the excuse that mothers are not letting you is because you have no problem getting to football practice every day. You have no problem getting to your son's football practice. You have no problem getting to your son's football games. You have no problems getting to your son's basketball games. You have no problems getting to your son's basketball practice. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Go to a football game, black fathers all over the place. Go to a basketball game, black fathers are all over the place. Go to a track meet, black fathers are all over the place. But then when it's time to go to report card conference, you missing in action. It's time for suspension conference, you missing in action. It's time for a child study team meeting, you missing in action. It's time for an IEP meeting, you're missing in action. It's time for a report card conference, you're missing in action. If you don't understand what I'm saying right now, if you don't understand what I'm saying right now, I want you to go to the next Little League football game in your neighborhood tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. I want you to go to the next Little League football game in your neighborhood. Look at all the black men cheering their sons on. Look at all the black men cheering other black boys in the neighborhood on who are not their sons. And then go into the schools on report card night. Go into the schools on back to school night. Go into the schools during suspension reinstatement meeting. Go into the school during the IEP meeting. Where are the black fathers? Black men, we are failing our boys. Black men, we are failing our boys. Black men, we are failing our boys because we are showing them that we only care about sports. We don't care about academics. We only care about sports. We don't care about academics. And don't let me talk about these Negro coaches out here. Oh yeah, I'm talking to you coaches. Don't let me get on these slave driving Negro coaches. You are the slave drivers for the athletic plantation of America. You black male coaches, you are the slave drivers for the athletic plantation in America. Slave drivers. You know you got boys on your team who failing and you still letting them play. You know you got boys on your team who barely go to school and you still letting them play. And you give Dr. Umar the excuse, well, Doc, if he makes it, he'll be a millionaire. Doc, if he makes it, he'll be a millionaire. Dr. Umar, if he makes it, he'll be a millionaire. I understand. I understand. I understand. But what about if he don't make it? Patah Negus, you a goddamn, get off my live. Got an African name and you fighting back against black men being responsible, you damn. Get your ass off my live, you idiot. Black fathers, black coaches, how dare you? Black coaches, how dare you have a student on your team who's failing a class, especially the neighborhood leagues. In many of the school leagues, they can only fail 2 subjects, and they wouldn't be on my team if they failing 1 subject. In many school districts, they allowed to fail 2 subjects, but if they was on my team, they couldn't fail 1 subject. So at least in the school district, they have some control. At least in the school district, they have some control. But these neighborhood football leagues, these neighborhood basketball leagues, y'all don't care how many classes they fail. Y'all don't care when's the last time they went to school. Y'all don't care if the special ed team is failing them. Y'all don't care if the IEP is not appropriate. All you care is about wins and losses on the football field, basketball field. Let's call it what it is, plantation. 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 All y'all care about wins and losses on the plantation. The football plantation, the basketball plantation, because y'all get kickbacks, y'all get set-asides, and y'all get certain perks by helping the colleges and the junior colleges and the prep schools find the most talented athletes. Don't nobody care about whether or not they finish their work. Nobody cares about whether or not they're passing their classes. No one cares about that. We only care about wins and losses on a football field and basketball court. But what happens when they lose in life, Mr. Father and Mr. Coach?